Hey guys, Harry here, back with another Bricklaying vlog. So it's been a few days since I recorded one. The reason I've not been very active on YouTube in the last 4 or 5 days, I lost my phone and my wallet on the same day, and just lost access to everything. So I finally gained access back. I've got my phone, all my two-step verifications again, and can access my bank, everything. I've got a phone. Whoa, it's like losing an arm when you lose your phone and wallet. Jesus, with all your IDs, everything. What an absolute ball ache. So, the last few days have been stressful, but I'm back on it, back recording. I'm rusty as fuck. I've been rambling for probably the last 2 hours trying to make this, but I'm going to sort of cut straight to the point. So, first week with a new gang, new plot. I've got probably the squarest pair of houses that is on this site. Easiest build probably that's on this site as well, so I've dropped on a good one. We started on Wednesday of last week. It's now the Tuesday night of the next week that I'm recording this. This is footage from Thursday. We're building this gable up. It's got nothing in it. It's got a patio door on the back. That's the only opening on the back, so just one big pier. And you know, I've tailed out basically half a gable, rack back with a big corner up to the patio door. Level up the reveal, profiles on, you know, big corner all the way up, and now we're just running into the front. So that's what you're seeing me do right now. Dean's spreading. He's spreading and loading out in front with the missus on a morning. Missus is dedicated, getting gobbo and pointing. Sometimes she's doing full days, sometimes she's doing half a days, sometimes she's doing half a day but staying at work with me, just to limit on fuel, travelling backwards and forwards, and she's just sitting down for the day. And if her ankles are, she's got any blisters, she's, resting them up. So, don't ever think, if you see her sat down for 20 minutes of a video or 15 minutes, she might not actually be working, just wants to chill out with us and chat. Sometimes she'll help out for no, but, she'll tell me if she wants to actually work a full day or not, which is the beauty of having the missus working with me. It's flexible, and that's what I've sort of instilled in her this week. Like, she's been going home at dinner a lot of the time. Sometimes she's, if we've got childcare on or can't get childcare for the afternoon, she'll go home, and she's not feeling it, she'll not, kill herself. But she's working up, she's doing like 3 or 4 days a week, which I'm fucking over the moon. I can't really ask any more than that. I was surprised she even stuck it for more than a day, and she's enjoying it really. We've had a few crosswords about pointing, and when it rains I get a bit stressed, and I've got a bit stressed with a new gang. For the first week I completely fucking underestimated how hard it'd be with an extra hod carrier. I thought it'd be simple, right? Fuck me, you've got to do a lot more thinking organising 2 workers opposed to 1, and then especially when one's your missus and you can't just say do this, do that. You've got to explain why you're asking them to do it, etc. Jesus, you've got to give anyone who just works in a normal gang or works as a one-on-one or on their own or just little private jobs. If you ever watch Charlie Collison, fucking I don't know how the fuck he had 5 or 6 people working with him. I could not even handle that many people asking him questions. I've only got one person asking me more questions than usual, which is Dean. Mrs. not even fucking asked me anything, and I've even just struggled this last week. But everything's went well, really. We're getting through some work. We're covering wages. I'm making similar money, if not a bit more than I was one-on-one. So that only improve in time when the synergy gets a bit better and everyone's a bit more efficient with everything. And I get a bit more better at managing everything. I'm sometimes telling people to do things in the wrong order. I'm not the best at directing people sometimes, but I'm getting better. I'm growing as myself as man management in a sense. But it's never something I aim to do. It's just something I've had to learn by circumstance. But yeah, as you can see, we're doing brickwork first, blasting this gable in. Dean's just spreading the full length, and in this video, I had him laying some bricks earlier on the previous day, but this day was just spreading. I'm sort of dedicating an hour or 2 a day to teaching him and breaking off, and then I'll say to him right, load out in front, or just spread and joint up. or clean or tidy up or clean snots from the back of the wall, etc. And I'm just gonna blast bricks in, because I said to him I can only cope with a couple hours a day of learning time, and then I just gotta crack on. So he understands, he's happy with everything, so it's all going pretty smooth. So today's video, I want to talk about something that I was gonna make a video on when Dean, the traditional bricklayer, first made the video of profiles versus traditional, but I couldn't, because I couldn't access my YouTube. I didn't have a phone to edit on. I couldn't make the video. So Dean and Charlie have got into a little bit of a debate about profiles versus traditional corner building, and I agree with most of what Charlie Collison says in his video. And I've been one to say in my videos that I don't always agree with everything he does, and he got everything pretty much on the money with profiles, and that is coming from myself, who hated using profiles for the last 8 years of bricklaying. I've been doing it like 10 years on site, 8 years on site now, 9 years on site, and then 10, 11 years in total in education, learning at college and stuff like that. And for first 6, 7 years on site, and for the first 4 or 5 years on my own as a one-on-one, I hated using profiles. I just built corners. I wasted tons of time when I could have just set profiles up and made it easy. And I can understand why the traditional bricklayer says what he says about corner building, and says what he says about laying the traditional way, not using pick and dip. But I have proved myself wrong about these facts. Setting a profile up when you know how to do it properly and efficiently is easier. It's so much easier than trying to build a corner. And I can build corners as fast as anyone. I can build corners. I used to prefer building corners. I enjoyed building corners. But it takes so much more thinking, so much more effort. It drains you more than just setting a profile up. Set a profile up. Yeah, you've got to check a profile now and again. But if you've put it on right, you don't have to check it more than once. Like, even with these aluminium box section, I set them up traditional. I set them up old school, as some might say. Pointing trowel, slip tie. If I want to pull the profile back into plumb, I'll pull the line harder. I'll pull it harder. I'll fucking tap the profile after 3 or 4 course. I'll put an extra F clamp on to pull it over if it's out of plumb, if it wants coming towards the wall. If it's going out of plumb, if it's pulling too far over and it needs to go back, I'll shove a slip tie in. Every 5 or 6 course, I'll just keep an eye on it. A minute here, a minute there. Little tweaks. And it isn't as much as all that. I like that Dean's videos. His videos aren't. Some guys you resonate with, some guys you don't. His mentality with it. It's a little bit. It's to how he wants to do it. He does what he does, and he likes. And obviously, fucking takes a lot of pride in what he does, and he has his own ideas. I think he said he had a bricklaying firm with like 10 or 15 men before the recession, and he's a businessman. He's a businessman before he's a bricklayer. And he was basically saying that you don't have to lay really quick or lay thousands of bricks a day, because he prices the jobs right. He knows his worth and stuff like that. And what Charlie's point was is that he was trying to say to the normal bricklayer like myself, who just turns up, works on price, works to it, builds a few houses, a few plots, and wants to get as much done, in a day as possible. And he's completely right. I agree with Charlie where he says, if you want to lay fucking 50, 100 bricks more, he goes, that's extra 60 quid in your 60 quid in your pocket every day. If you can just do that by setting profiles up, or be more efficient with your time instead of building the corner, get yourself in the mentality to make that extra 50 quid a day, and it just adds up every day you make that extra 50 quid. It's an extra 200, 300 quid a week. And I know that Dean was saying that if you get there early, you're wasting all that time setting the profiles up, but it comes down to the same scenario. If you're only getting mortar at 8 o'clock and you're not starting laying 8:15, and you're getting there at 7:15 or whatever, it makes so much sense. And I agree, it does. And you've got to work to your circumstance. And I think Dean was arguing his point with the circumstance he works in, which is very different to the majority. And Collinson was trying to sort of broadly outline it for price workers. Like, I presume the majority of us are price workers. You know, even if you do private jobs on price, you know, we're all trying to, you know, we're all sort of in the same boat. At the end of the day, I don't care who you are, no one's going to pay you to do it, to not get anything done. So you've got to get as much done as you can in a day while maintaining quality. And I think profiles just make it easier. You know, I've laid 950 bricks in a day using majority corner building, but I used some profiles for that day, and I built some with a cut. You know, I built 2 21 course corners on the backside of a 9-inch boundary wall, you know, with a pier on it, and it was like, you know, both are fast, but they all take the uses. And over time now, I've found that profiles speed you up more than they hinder you. You know, they're a lot faster running in. As you can see, I've got profiles set up all over this box, and it just makes it so much easier. And it comes down to the type of brick you're laying as well. Like these concretes, would I have any chance keeping a 22 course corner plumb using a level? These bricks wouldn't allow it. Whereas, you know, like a traditional Frog London clay brick, you know, you might have, you know, it might be easier to build a corner in some scenarios. But it all comes down to the circumstance, and I think more circumstance and more often than not, a lot of Charlie's points would be more validated. And you know, it is one of them. I personally think, you know, if you don't use profiles, learn how to use them, and that is undersold more than anything. There's so many guys out there who don't know how to use profiles properly. They take ages to set them up. They overcheck them. They don't set them up right to where you don't have to check them all the time. And that is a skill in itself. I don't care who you are. I have proved that true, even to myself. I was crap at setting them up. That's why I refrain from using them. I was hammering and chiseling my fucking joints out to put the F-clamps in when I could have been using a drill. You know, so many things. And like, if you can get as quick as Charlie Collison is at setting his up, fucking too right, you're going to use profiles. Like, I've watched him set them Blakes up, and it's like fucking magic how he does them. And I've tried to set them up, and oh my god, I'd put the Blake through the wall in fucking anger trying to do it in the past. I set a Blake up that quick. So, you know, what do? I use box section. I use what I can set up quick. And I do intend on using Blakes one day on the right side, and I do intend on getting quick at using them one day, but at the moment I'm trying to get as quick as I can using block section, using lat, you know, using anything I can to speed us up, using level up the reveals and stuff. You know, I'm trying to speed up in other areas using just, you know, the traditional sort of profile, in a sense, the traditional profile bricklayer. But you know, I think that's the point that should have been made in this video. You know, if you're quick at setting profiles up, you're going to be even quicker running into them. If you're not quick at setting profiles up, you're probably still going to be quicker than you building the corner. If you're not quick at building corners, you're definitely going to be quicker using a profile. And if you're quick at building corners, you know, there'll be some rare circumstances where you'll beat, you know, even the slowest using profiles. But more often than not, profiles will reign supreme, and it just makes more sense for the average bricklayer, not for the guy who's doing a self build, not for the guy who's got, you know, tons of highly priced work, making tons of money, got a good business going. You know, that isn't the average bricklayer. The average bricklayer is like myself, trying to blast work in while the weather's good, trying to earn a crust while the opportunities are there. And I think it resonates more for a wider range of audience than what Dean was coming at. But I like both the channels. You know, Dean's got that charisma and Hollywood character that he could almost play off as if it wasn't really him. You know, you could almost say the bloke's acting with way he comes across in the videos. Charlie's got a little bit more of the typical bricklaying meet on site persona, but really quick, you know. So, you know, they all have their own appeal in the videos. I like both the videos. younger generation versus older generation, there's not that many years between them. You know, if I'm all honest, there's 10 years between both of the blokes. Do you know what I mean? You can't call one old school and one new school. They're not that. There isn't that much fucking age gap. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's one of them. You know, so I think it's a bit of a straw man argument with some of the points. But I generally agree with Charlie Moore. It does make me laugh, like, obviously, about some of the bricklaying banter that goes on in the bricklaying debates. They're funny because, you know, I laugh at stuff like that. You know, when egos clash like that, especially channels with big tractions. You know, I think the goalkeeper's got 6.5k subs and Collinson's got 80. I even think it's funny that, you know, an 80,000 subscriber YouTuber like Collinson even addresses or even takes note of bricklayers, even like myself. You know, you wouldn't have thought that they'd, because everyone's in the same boat in a sense, we're all bricklayers. Everyone takes notice of everyone's videos, and if someone says something, they want to agree with it or disagree with it, which is everyone has the freedom to do that on YouTube, which is lovely. And this is what, you know, deters more bricklayers from making videos. The outsider can say what they want, and it's down to you to, you know, deal with that, you know, that opinion. But I generally am on the side of profiles now. And pick and dip, you know, they had some points about pick and dip. They didn't really mention pick and dip because I do not care who you are, right? If you're doing pick and dip, you can do pick and dip slow, and you can do pick and dip how fast how Charlie does it. There's a big difference, you know, and you can do traditional slow and you can do traditional fast. Like I've seen, you know, a lot of bricklayers who can lay up 1,500 bricks a day lay traditional, and at the end of the day, the more skilled you are, the longer you've been doing it, the faster you are. You know, the more trowel dexterity you have, the more just natural trowel skill, you're gonna go fast. And I don't care if you're doing it traditional or pick and dip, you're gonna go. You know, you're generally gonna go faster pick and dip. Definitely, it's a lack of, you know, you're reducing movement. But just look at some of the spec mix guys. Traditional spreads, big trowels, blasters front tip on and go. You know, you can't deny the speed of traditional, you can't deny the speed of pick and dip. It comes down to the bricklayer, and I think, you know, Dean, the traditional bricky, ain't no speed demon. You know, he's probably as fast as the average bricklayer out there. Whereas Charlie Collison, people he's a bit underrated. I think he gets a bit of a bad rap where people go, he's not that fast, he ain't that fast, but he is actually. I've watched him how he lays them bricks. He's fast. He's faster than a normal fucking person. You know, you'll not see any bricklayers on site as fast as that bloke, and you'll see maybe one every fucking 5, 6, 7 years out of the blue. There'll be that fast Andy or that fast fucking whoever, you know, fast John over on that fucking scaffold blasting bricks in 10 to a dozen, and they're like one per fucking county. You know, so you've got to give, you know, respect where respect's due, or dues where, I don't know what the fucking word is for it. Anyway, I'm having a beer. But, you know, you've got to, you know, give credit where credit's due. When, if someone's fast and someone's blasting in, you know, north of 1,000 bricks a day on their own, whether they've got odd carries or not, you know, it's something to be respected there. And for someone who can do it regularly without killing themselves, that's even highly more respected, you know, in my sense, because I know how hard it is. You know, I'm touching 1,000 bricks some days. I haven't hit it yet. I'll make a video when I do. I'm getting close to that, and that is some graft. That is some fucking graft, and that has got to go. And your day's got to go smooth. You've got to get everything right. You've got to fucking not miss a trick. You've got to have your head switched on. It's more than just putting brick to wall. It's a process, and for the guys that can do it will know it, and to do it to the standard that a lot of these guys are doing it, you know, especially, you know, Charlie making, you know, the job he does of his work, you know, it's as neat as anyone's, you know, it's as neat as anyone's, probably neater than the majority. It's a statement, and if you're doing it, you know, it's got to be respecting the bricklaying community, because we're all on price, we're all here to make money, and at the end of the day, if they weren't paying us, we wouldn't be picking his fucking trowels up. So anyway, that was the video. I just wanted to touch on the profiles versus, you know, the Dean Charlie debate. You know, I like both of them. I fucking find it hilarious when bricklayers have a dig at each other. It's fucking hilarious. I love it. I've heard some right shit on sites with them bricklayers moaning about someone else, and it makes me roll my eyes and just wonder why you're not cracking on and getting on with your own work and earning a bit of money. You're too busy moaning. But if some of these guys I know did some, you know, less moaning and more swiping, they won't have any reason to moan then. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm back again, finally for good. So I'm going to try get videos every 48 hours, and I will see you guys in the next one.